So good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out this evening, although maybe not out. You're probably in your homes or relaxed and cozy, or maybe in a car. I don't know. But welcome regardless. My name's James Whitehouse, and I'm head of school. I'll do a bit more of an introduction of myself in just a sec, but just some housekeeping. First of all, if you have any questions that we can address at the end with the student panel, or the rest of our panel, if you use the chat, so that's at the bottom right of your screen, there's a chat opportunity there to leave questions. As we go through the presentation, if you want to ask a question, just use the hand function. There's a little hand on the bottom of your screen there, and we'll try and get those questions answered as we go. And last but not least, if you could put yourself on mute, just so if there's any background noise or anything like that, it doesn't disrupt the recording. Okay, so we'll make a start. As I said, my name's James Whitehouse. I have been at Elmwood this is my 13th year. This is my 6th year as head of school. I have two children, one daughter at the school who's just moved into our middle school in grade 6, Isla, and I have a son who is 13, who is in the public system. Family to me is everything. It resonates through the school. It is probably the most special thing about Elmwood is the focus on family values. And you can see the picture in front of you there. That is our school, that's our community. And every time I look at it, you see a different face, a different smile. You remember the moments. And we're a small school, which means we get to know everybody, not only the students, but parents and the community at large, which makes it a very special place. And when I say family, I mean family. We laugh together, we cry together, we sometimes get angry together, but ultimately we work things out. And that's what makes Elmwood so special. The session tonight is going to give you a whole lot of information, and it'll be a bit of a whirlwind. So don't expect to remember everything. The idea is just to get a flavor, to meet some people. You're going to meet some incredible students and some incredible staff as we go through, and you're going to get a chance to ask questions. So please don't be shy. You are part of this family right now this evening. So questions and comments and any sort of curiosity is great. What you're seeing now is our founder, Theodora Philpott, who in 1915, a British lady, wanted to create a place where students could be joyous, companionable, strong, and free. Ahead of her time, visionary in education in many ways, but that culture, those values live strong at Elmwood today. It's something that we weave into the fabric of the school, and we believe in. Every time we have someone join our school, whether it be a student, a family, a new member of staff, they have to live and breathe the values that we hold dear. And I'll talk about those in a minute. But the school was a special place then, and it's a special place now. And the history, we're steeped in it. We're about to have 110th, which is quite incredible not from a British perspective. It's a baby by Britain standards, but by Canadian perspectives, this is a school steeped in history. So what is Elmwood? Elmwood, we're 400 students, just shy of that. And that's a number we want to stay at. It's a number that allows us to know everybody, to have that connection with all the families, all the students. And when I look at these pictures, you see the smiling faces, you see the academics, you see our younger students with our older students, and that connection, that mentorship, that sisterhood that lives in the school is so special. There's a few things I'm really, really proud of about Elmwood, and I think first and foremost, it's who we are as a culture, the connectedness we have, and that feeling of togetherness. But I'm incredibly proud of who we are as a learning institution too. We're an IB school from when the students enter in pre-K all the way through to when they leave in grade 12. And that's a world standard by which we measure ourselves and by which we get the very best from the world. And just recently, I'm so proud of knowing that Elmwood was ranked as the top IB school in Canada for our diploma results. They're our grade 12 results, where the students sit standardized exams. We measure ourselves against every school across the world, and Elmwood was ranked as the number 1 in Canada, which is a huge achievement because of the incredible students we have, but also the teachers and you as families bring together this combination that makes learning incredible at the place. Not only that, amongst the world, we're ranked in the top 2%. So that just gives you some understanding of where the school sits, but also our belief in looking at the very best educational models from around the world. We're incredibly fortunate that we follow the Ministry of Education in Ontario, but we also have the opportunity to look at the very best and handpick curriculum. We get to handpick new ideas, new technology, innovations, and we get to really test and try things, which makes us an incredible place. We're very nimble, we're small, we can honestly change tack and change direction if it's in the best interest in the kids. We're an Apple Distinguished School. Many people don't know what that is, but we have a one-to-one Apple program in the school. And it's not about the devices, it's about how we use them. We're recognized as a center of excellence for technology, for things like AI, which we're making huge strides in at the moment. So what is our promise to you? I'm a parent. I think long and hard before I send my kids anywhere to learn. And my daughter's here because I believe in here. And I know it sounds odd being the head of school. Of course, I believe in here, but education is so important to me that every decision about a school is important. And so, in the last few years, we've changed how we look at the school, and we created a promise to our families. Our promise is a real partnership, not only between the faculty, the teachers, the staff, the students, but also with the parents and our community, our mentors, our business partners. We promise a partnership that's genuine, that's real, that is two ways. We listen, we hear, we make changes, but it's a community. And it's a community, and we promise remarkable educators. Our teachers are phenomenal. Why are they phenomenal? Because they believe in this. But they're phenomenal because they have an attitude which is a growth mindset. They want to improve. They want to do the best for the students. And in that, they get the best opportunities to train, to develop, to have PD. But what I love most is that they're inspiring people for the students. And you'll hear from our students tonight about what the teachers mean to them. When you look at the relationships between educators and students, it is remarkable. It's a place where I wish I'd gone to as a student. It's a place that I love. I'm a teacher. I still teach. As head of school, I teach senior level history in grade 12. And it's the best part of my day, those connections with the students. And we offer an unparalleled environment that is best for the students. We have small class sizes, but we don't have small class sizes because it sounds good. We have smaller class sizes because we feel that is the optimal size for learning. Sometimes we have bigger class sizes because in that class, at that time, in that space, we want more students in the room for better debate, for better arguments, for better insight into what they're learning. But our promise to you is those things. We work very hard to make sure we do that. Part of the work we did over the past few years is we took a look at ourselves and we wanted to really identify who we were and what we really believed in and how we saw ourselves. And out of that work came this belief that what we really wanted was to, as much as possible, and it's not always possible, is to leave people feeling lifted and unstoppable from every interaction they have with the school, be it with their teachers, be it outside on the sports field, be it with interactions with parents, be it staff talking to staff. Every interaction, we want people leaving that interaction feeling lifted and unstoppable. Because you know what? The world is making us try to move too quickly into students being adults. We've forgotten that pleasure of just being happy, of smiling, of laughing, of enjoying what we're doing. And when you're happy, when you're laughing, when you're smiling, you can learn. When you're worried, when you're anxious, when you're stressed, when you don't feel lifted, you can't learn. And then there's all sorts of barriers. Our job here is to try and take away those pressures, create joy in learning, and leave people feeling lifted. And so this has become a heartbeat for us as a school. And on top of that, we also had a good look at our values as a school. We believe strongly in values and how they can underpin not only what we do every day, but also the culture of the school. And these values live with us every day, nurturing a love of learning. I love that phrase, learning is a joyful adventure. That's an amazing feeling because it is. When you learn something, it's joyful. And we shouldn't be embarrassed about that. My son comes home from his school and it's almost not cool for him to learn. And that breaks my heart. And I see my daughter coming home from here and she's like learning all the time. It's a little embarrassing. She's younger than him and is outperforming him. But what is wonderful about it is that she is smiling and laughing and really enjoying this journey of learning. The idea of fostering growth, being open-minded, being curious, asking questions, not being scared to ask questions and not being shy to ask questions. Cultivating connections. We talk about this every day. The idea that kindness, which is a word I say perhaps too often, sometimes I think people make fun out of me for it because I believe that kindness is everything. I don't think it's hard to be kind. I think we can do it every day. And I think that it makes a huge difference in people's lives. But with that comes respect. And with that then comes true collaboration, where you can actually trust each other. You can actually learn properly. You can say what you feel and what you think, knowing that, positive change is ahead. And then the last one is empowering accountability. This idea that accountability is important. We're going into the world where accountability is expected. And we expect that of ourselves and of the students and of the parents. And it's a good thing. It's a commitment to yourself and to others that you're going to do something. And we hold ourselves to that all the time. And we do it in a kind way, in a respectful way. But learning that ability to hold yourself accountable and to expect it of others is a huge skill. So now, as we move into the rest of the presentation, I'm going to ask Jennifer to just move the slide on. I'm going to, we've already said this is the idea that learning is a joyful adventure, but what I want to do now is to introduce you to a few people who are going to speak. First of all is Kate Meadowcraft, who's on the screen there, so Kate can probably give a wave. Kate is our IB primary years program coordinator. She also teaches in grade 3. Kate's been in the school for a long time. I don't know how many years, Kate, but you could say that when you do your introductions. And she is going to be working with Christina Schindler, who is the principal of our Midland Senior School. Christina joined us this year from Halifax, but previously had been in Ontario in different schools. But Christina has a really good lens because she's walked into the school and sees it. We see it through our eyes of being here for a long time, but Christina's seen it with new eyes. So she has a whole new perspective on things. So I'm going to hand over now the presentation to Christina and Kate, but it is a real pleasure for me to welcome you tonight. And I really do hope you get what you need. And please ask questions if you have any, or leave them in the chat and we can address them now or later. I'll be back a little bit later on to close this down, but thank you once again. I'm going to hand over to Kate now.
Thank you very much, James. Good evening, everybody. As James mentioned, I'm Kate Meadowcroft, and most importantly, I am a teacher, and I have been teaching at Elmwood for 16 years this year. So very clearly, I love Elmwood, and I believe very much in what we do here. I'm also the IB Primary Years Program Coordinator, which allows me to work with teachers and with students all across the junior school. And both roles are very stimulating, and I value them both very much. And the first value that we're going to kind of delve into, and arguably our most important value as a school at Elmwood, is nurturing a love of learning. And as James mentioned, that learning should be a joyful adventure. So what does that look like? When you go into a school, what does joyful learning sound like? What does it feel like in a classroom? So when you come for your tour at Elmwood, you're going to see that joy of learning in our classrooms, but also permeating our hallways, the playground, the sports field, and you'll definitely see it in the interactions that students are having with each other and with their teachers as well. You'll see students engaged in learner-driven activities in environments that are carefully designed with all of the resources necessary to support their learning. You'll also see that positivity underscores all that we do, and that as teachers, we strive to model that. But it's not just teachers that are modeling that positivity. It's everybody who works at Elmwood, from the people in the front office to our wonderful Elmwood Bistro staff. And most importantly, you're also going to see students who are being challenged to grow and learn, while also being supported exactly when and how they need it to make sure that we're optimizing their growth. And this is done through differentiation, which is basically personalization of learning to meet each learner's needs. Could I have the next slide, please? Thank you. Okay, so a key part of how we nurture a love of learning at Elmwood is through the International Baccalaureate program. As James mentioned, we are an IB continuum school, and so that means we offer all 3 levels of the IB program: the primary years program from pre-K to grade 5, the middle years program from grade 6 to 10, and then finally our diploma program. The IB program is the gold standard in education, and it provides a robust and really thoroughly researched framework through which all of our students grow as learners. The IB is really teaching students, on top of those foundational skills and the knowledge that they need. It's really helping students learn how to learn. And there are a couple of key features that run throughout the entire IB program. One of those features is the learner profile attributes. And what these are their traits or habits of mind and attitudes that really explicitly teach students what they need to strive towards being to be lifelong learners who are also globally minded. And another common feature right across the program are our approaches to learning. So these are the really, really important skills that are quite often referred to as soft skills, but we know to really be those skills that our students are going to carry with them throughout not only their academic career, but even later into life, and all the learning that they do and all the challenges that they face in whatever they end up doing as adults to contribute to our community. Most importantly, the IB really is backed by rigorous research, and it's cutting edge. And the IB organization is constantly reviewing the research in pedagogy and teaching and learning to make sure that we're always, on the forefront of what's happening in education, and that we're constantly innovating and learning as well. From there, I'm going to pass over to Christina Schindler, our principal of the Middle and Senior School, to talk about what that looks like in the Middle and Senior School at Elmwood. You just have to unmute yourself, Christina.
Of course. Thank you. It's a pleasure to see everyone here tonight. As James mentioned, I joined the Elmwood community this fall, and it's a real joy to be part of such a truly, authentically special learning place, learning community. This is, believe it or not, year 26 in my career, and with the exception of 5 years, my entire journey has been in all-girls education with a reason, and it's because it's truly a special place. And on the screen, you'll see a little bit of information that I'd like to dive into with you about why all girls learning environments are such unique and special places. And so at Elmwood, we are experts in how girls learn. We know there is something very special about an all girls environment, and it really is one of the ways in which we can foster a love of learning for each and every one of our students. You really, as you walk through the classrooms and the hallways, you feel the energy and the excitement of learning, and that's backed up by how we do what we do in the classroom every day. You'll notice on the screen the International Coalition of Girls' Schools report. They recently released more research that compares the attitudes and outcomes of girls learning in co-ed learning environments versus single-gendered environments. And the research is significant. Girls enjoy being challenged and engaged and have higher aspirations when they are not worrying about competing in a co-ed space. There is a more positive view towards competition as well as collaboration when you're doing it with peers who are of like mind and keen to learn and grow and thrive in a space like this. So Elmwood is an ISGC member school, and one of the additional benefits we have by being part of that community is professional learning for our teachers. We continually return to the conversation and the research to ensure that we are up to date and are implementing research, but also best practices in how girls learn so that they can thrive in that journey. A little bit more about nurturing a love of learning involves what student success and student support looks like here at the school. And there's really many facets to that, to build on what Kate shared. In part because our students learn at their own rate and pace, we do differentiate or individualize how we do what we do across the subjects and grades. And so whether it is programs designed to support our elite athletes who are competing at a high level outside of school in a sport of their passion, ensuring they have an academic program that also meets their future interests and pursuits beyond high school, we are able to meet students and support them in those areas. For students with a wide range of learning needs, whether it is struggling with a concept or skill in a class, or maybe some larger issues that they're looking to build skills on around literacy or numeracy, or maybe organization, time management, we actually have success coaching as part of our program. And that is when they are paired with an educator who works one-on-one to help them build skills in that area to move them forward so they can thrive and succeed independently. Success Studios is a component of what we do, and that is where we teach the executive function skills and helping our students really develop that learning toolkit in the middle school years so they are ready for all of the rigors and challenges ahead in high school. Our PALS program is partnerships between the middle and senior school with our junior school students. It's delightful to see those relationships grow and foster over the course of the year. We also naturally have tutoring and extra help components as a part of our program. In our junior school years, one of the key components to unlocking learning for life is early reading interventions. And so as needed, based on all the data we're gathering about how students grow in these skills, we are offering interventions. We do not wait. We act and react to the data we have and respond with supports for our students to bridge those gaps when they're really small and move students forward. And my friends, because you're part of a learning community, we actually involve learning opportunities for you as parents too. We offer monthly sessions where you can come and have a conversation about a topic of interest, or read the book we're looking at. This year we were looking at the anxious generation and having conversations as an entire community about the impact of technology on our young people and their brains and their minds and how they learn. And, you know, maybe some benefits, I would go so far as to say, for putting down the screen and engaging in opportunities for conversation that don't involve thumbs and small screens. So, you know, really robust learning opportunities for our parents too. And it's in part because, as I said, we value that learning culture as an entire community. So moving on, our next theme is cultivating connections. And this value is our belief that kindness, collaboration, and respect truly hold the power to inspire positive change. And for us at Elmwood here, this really truly informs all that we do. Interactions with colleagues as educators, interactions with students and parents. It's a key component, connections and collaboration. For students, this, as I mentioned previously, these connections exist on many levels that include interactions outside the classroom. And so some of the pictures you're seeing on the screen include our house model, where we have, similar to what you might know from Harry Potter, we have 4 houses: Fry, Keller, Nightingale, and Wilson, for influential women in Canadian history. And they are icons for opportunities for us to connect as members of one of the 4 houses. I happen to be a Nightingale, and whether it is at camp or during house games, spirit activities, all the different things that we do within the course of a year, it's again a way to cultivate those connections. I mentioned earlier our PALS program and interactions between the junior school, middle and senior school students, and then we also do with purpose plan and cultivate connections outside the walls of our school. And the bottom picture you see here is from a conference that some of our grade 12 students presented at this past fall. And so on that note, I'm going to turn it back to Kate for what cultivating connections looks like in the junior school.
Thank you, Christina. So in the junior school, we also strive to cultivate connections with our students and also for our students. So we place a lot of importance on highlighting real world connections for our students to the learning that that's taking place in the classroom, so that they're able to really understand the context of what they're learning in the classroom and connect it to the outside world. An example of that is every year, each of our grades has the opportunity opportunity to take part in a workshop that's led by a scientist expert. And that expert will come from a field that connects either to a unit of inquiry that they're studying or a strand of the curriculum. Field trips are, of course, also an important part of our curriculum connections as well, and the students always look forward to them. We head out to everything that the City of Ottawa has to offer, and sometimes even farther afield as well. We're also so fortunate to have a very engaged parent community who are unbelievably generous with their time, and also happen to have a great deal of expertise in a variety of fields. And so sometimes these parent experts will come in and conduct some workshops and sessions with our young students in the junior school. A recent example of that is a father of a grade 5 student last year who is a lawyer. In grade 5, they were studying the judiciary system, and this father very generously came in and ran an entire mock trial for our grade 5 students to take part in. And it was an amazing, engaging experience for our students, and definitely a highlight of grade 5 for many of them. And as Christina was talking about, we have a house system. We also have prefects. And so our grade 12 prefects are a regular presence down in our junior school. And our young students just love interacting with them. They love having some students to look up to. And we also have a junior school prefect. That's one of the positions. And some of the responsibilities entailed in that role include organizing our annual Halloween party, which is always quite an event and a smashing success. And we also have some Spirit Day activities at the end of the year that are also organized for our junior school students by our prefects. Could I have the next slide? Thank you. Okay, so the next value that we hold very dear to us as a school community at Elmwood is the value of fostering growth. I think that the quote here says a lot, that being open-minded and curious are fundamental to learning. In the junior school, we are so fortunate that our young students still have so much of their innate curiosity that they're born with. They are so interested in learning about the world around them. And in the junior school, we really strive to maintain that mindset. We understand how magical that is for our students, and we do everything that we can to help them look at the world around them and keep that curiosity. Certainly, leaving students feeling lifted and unstoppable also means encouraging them to stretch themselves and to grow. It means giving them the space to take some risks and explore new things, from new passions and hobbies to musical instruments to theater performance to sports and martial arts. This is all a part of growth and learning for our young students in the junior school. And so, along with our robust academic program, our students have many opportunities to learn and grow through our co-curricular activities. And these activities are organized in such a way that the students are encouraged to try a variety of different activities. We have activities and clubs from STEM, we have drama, we have language clubs, so that our students end up trying something new and stretching themselves a little bit and growing. And in this way, we also know that open-mindedness and curiosity are an important part of our IB learner profile, and that's how we connect our co-curricular program with our academic program as well.
So in terms of fostering growth in the middle and senior school, I'm hoping that some of these pictures will give you a sense of the scope of opportunities our students have outside the classroom. Before I talk about that, I want to just pause and say that one of the key pieces about the learning journey in Elmwood is a growth mindset. It's one of the elements that is really important to how girls not only learn but thrive. The willingness to take risks and try new things and step out and put themselves out there, whether it is as trying out for a new sport or trying out for a play. It's really a component that is done with safety and support here at the Elmwood School, and a real gift in this community. So in the middle and senior school, our students truly do have a lot of opportunities to delve into and explore a new hobby, a new passion, a new skill, a new experience, whether it is in the visual arts, everything from fine art and pottery and photography, to our dramatic arts program where we put on 2 full productions every year. Our visual arts, our music program is actually really robust with a range of small ensembles, full bands, jazz ensembles. It's really delightful to see the growth and development of each of these artistic skills over the course of the year. And naturally, athletics is a component of the learning journey here at Elmwood. And we offer more than 24 sports teams across the middle and senior school years at a range of levels, because for some of our students, this would be their first year really engaging in more of a competitive level sport. And so they do not want to be at a higher elite level in terms of competition, but the value of being on a team and contributing to success, win or loss, whether it's on the court or on the field, is an important part of fostering growth. And so a few stats for you, because I am a bit of a researcher and love to know a little bit more about our students. We have 89% of our middle school students and almost 70% of our senior school students competing on at least one team every year. And that is in addition to the clubs, councils, and arts elements that fill out their very busy day. And so really, regardless of the choices and opportunities, at the core of our program really is to develop a love of learning and foster growth in new areas. And so our last value that we'd like to share with you tonight in terms of giving you a window into what it's like to learn at Elmwood is empowering accountability. This value brings together self-confidence, independence, and advocacy with the development of leadership skills, which happen at age and stage levels across all 3 schools: junior school, middle school, and senior school. In the middle and senior school, students can develop their leadership by joining clubs or sports or activities that they haven't been part of before, but also stepping into leadership in all the different ways and forms that looks like. We do not believe in the traditional lead only from the front model. There are many ways to be a leader in this community. And so that is something that we really foster and build by meeting students where they are in that curiosity or that passion and helping them move forward. So whether it's on a council or club, captain of a team, maybe aspiring to be a prefect, or even simply organizing a community event that is close to their hearts and their passions, we're really spearheading and encouraging initiative and empowering our students to explore that. Our students also do get involved in peer-to-peer leadership, whether it is tutoring younger students between middle, junior, and senior school, or whether it is advocating for themselves and finding their voice in a variety of ways. And so with that, I will pass it on to Kate to share a little bit about what empowering accountability looks like there.
Thanks, Christina. So we have a lot of leadership opportunities for our students in the junior school as well. And as leadership pertains to learning, one of the ways that we strive to empower accountability in our students is through an event we have every year called Growth as a Learner Conferences. And in these conferences, parents are invited into the classroom to review their daughter's work and learning so far in the year. But it's not led by the teacher. It is led entirely by the student. The student takes ownership, takes accountability for her own learning. She presents it to her parents, and then together they reflect on it and set some goals for the remainder of the academic year. And it's just a wonderful way to have our students take ownership over their own learning and understand the power of goal setting and how it can drive their growth. Some other leadership opportunities, we have a house council for our grade 5 students. They are responsible for organizing some events around the junior school, and they lead activities for our younger grades. We have weekly assemblies in the junior school, and this year, for the first time, our assemblies are organized and led by our grade 5 students. And there also happens to be a key feature from every grade at each assembly. So grade 1 offers a couple of funny jokes every week, which frankly is the highlight of my week. Sometimes they are so great. And then grade 2, we have a couple of reporters each week that join us from grade 2 to share about news and exciting things going on around the junior school. The assembly is also a great place for some student initiative and action, and we have have special presentations from students that come entirely from themselves. They may want to share a cultural celebration with the school community. They may want to present about some wonderful accomplishment that they attained outside of school that they're really excited to share with the school. We also have house days that happen in the junior school. And we have something called Studio. So every few months, the entire junior school comes together and we engage together in a collaborative art project. And it's a really powerful day for our older students to connect with our younger students and be role models and develop some of those leadership skills. We have many opportunities in the junior school for students to develop their sense of belonging and their responsibility to their broader school community. And it's just so wonderful to see our students develop their skills and be ready to take on these challenges and really feel empowered in their accountability to their school, but most importantly, accountable to themselves. And with that, I'd like to pass it back to Mr. Whitehouse.
Thanks so much, Kate and Christina, for taking us on that journey. This is always an emotional time for us as a school when we say goodbye to our graduating class. They spent a long time with us, some people since JK. So as we look at the picture there, it's a tradition for us to do a proper send-off for our graduating class. But what impresses me most about them, and I was teaching today and we were just talking about what they're looking forward to next year and what they're fearful for, nervous about. And what I get though is that sense of pride about what they've achieved on their journey. Every one of them has had a passion of where they want to go and what they want to do. They have their dreams, they have their hopes. And what's amazing is how you see them getting there. And what you can see here is just a breakdown of where the students go to. Nearly 50% go into STEM. Now that is an outrageously high figure for schools. The typical statistics for a school for girls in schools is about 20% go into STEM. Now, we're proud of that stat, but it's not as if we push them into STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. We don't do that. It's a passion-led program choice. So that choice of program is based on the students' passions. You can see the 39% in arts, humanities, and social sciences, which as a history teacher, I love to see as they go into university and they get that broader kind of more liberal arts background. We're seeing more and more students go into commerce and business. As the world's changing, as the opportunities are changing, we're seeing that. And then the visual and creative arts, you saw such a foundation of it and a background of it as our co-curriculars. A lot of our students actually go on to follow that. And that big number at the bottom, we typically have a graduating class of between 40 and 50 students. So that $15 million total is what our students were offered. Many schools don't get anywhere near that for many more students. That number is staggeringly high. In fact, we're one of the highest scholarship schools in the country. And there's a reason for it. It's because universities want our students. And they want them to come to their school. Why? Because they're prepared, they're ready, because they've had Elmwood students go through their university and they know they've been successful. What is amazing to see is as these offers start coming into the students, how much those schools want our students to come to them. And I don't blame them because they're incredibly special people. It's not just about the academic success, and they are brilliant academically, they're brilliant socially. It's about the whole person. And what I love most about this place is every time I'm feeling a bit down or a little bit, not having the best day, you just walk around the school. You bump into people, you have a laugh, you have a chat, you talk to them about their lives and what they're doing, and everything is better. And that's what's so special about this place. Of course, this may seem like a long, long, long way away for some of you. It may feel like you've got the whole world ahead of you until university comes knocking. I felt that way. My son was like 2 years old just yesterday, and now he's about to enter grade 9, and suddenly he's going to be at university. And so university is important. For many people, it's the reason why people come to Elmwood in some cases, is that they want that pathway to be clear, they want the passions to be brought out, and they want the opportunities to be opened. But really what it's about is understanding each person's passion. At Elmwood, we don't say, this is where we want you to go. We don't even listen to you as parents all the time who say, this is where we expect you to go. Because that sometimes happens. Let's just put it on the table. Sometimes parents have expectations. They want their kids to go to certain places. We respect that, we really do, but we really listen to the students. We listen to what they're good at, what they want to do, where they want to be, and what they want to do. And that leads them to places such as Queen's, such as University of Oxford in England, Cambridge, Harvard this year, King's College. But we have some really cool places that are just unique schools that I haven't even heard of, and sometimes, but that's because the student was passionate about an ocean course that they wanted to study in Australia, and so that's where they went. And what's remarkable about that is that, you know, when you see someone truly happy about where they're going because their dream is being realized, that's why it's special. That's why when I see them behind me on the stage when we're at closing or about to leave and you hear what they're doing, it's emotional. It's emotional because we really care. And it's just awe-inspiring to see what these students get up to. And it's a real privilege to be able to lead the school through that. So you've done really well. Some of you may have your screens off and sleeping, but hopefully not. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to introduce you to two of our wonderful students, Sadie and Raluca. Actually, I just saw them in a picture together playing music in one of the slides. They're going to tell you a little bit about themselves, how long they've been at the school, what grade they're in, and then it's an opportunity to ask questions. So I'm going to open it up to, I can see Sadie on my screen. I can't see Raluca right now. So Sadie, why don't you start us off and introduce yourself and say when you joined the school and what grade you're in.
Sure, yeah. So my name is Sadie. I'm in grade 11 right now, and I joined in grade 9. So this is my 3rd year at Elmwood.
Thank you, Sadie. And Raluca.
Hi, I'm Raluca. I'm also in grade 11, and I joined Elmwood in senior kindergarten. So this is my 12th year at the school.
So Raluca, what do we refer to students who have been with us since the beginning?
We commonly refer to students who have been here since the beginning as lifers because we've spent pretty much most of our developing years at the school. And I think that it's such a wonderful and beautiful opportunity to get to grow from the primary years program to the middle years program, and now being a part of the diploma program. I feel like each level of the school has truly prepared me to be where I am now, to be able to have a voice, to speak up, and to be able to critically engage with the material and to pose interesting questions. So I think it's such a valuable experience to be with the school for a duration of time for that long. And truly you get to foster connections with students and teachers over the course of many years that are some of the relationships I'll take with me for the rest of my life.
Thank you, Raluca. It's a little intimidating sometimes when you teach here because as you can see, our students are very articulate, very smart, very bright, but very invested in the school. So when I walk into my grade 12 history class, I'm better be on my game. Sadie, can you just talk us through a little bit about some of the things that since you've been at Elmwood that you've enjoyed, that you've loved, that you've learned, that you've grown in?
Absolutely. So when I first came to Elmwood, grade 9, start of high school, I was definitely a little bit nervous, and immediately I was going on this camping trip. Camp Elmwood is what we call it, and we go every year. And it's right at the beginning of the year, and it's this kind of team building experience where they throw you right into the deep end of the Elmwood community. But my grade 9 Camp Elmwood experience, like I met Raluca at Camp Elmwood. I made so many amazing friends. That's grade 9 Camp Elmwood is something that I'll remember forever. Even more recently, over the summer, I participated in a group of us created a play and brought it to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in Scotland. And that was like a crazy experience. We spent 2 weeks learning all about theater and art in Scotland and exploring the different, the different culture in the UK and all of that. And so I've had, a wide range of opportunities at Elmwood, but, I'm very, very grateful for all that I've been able to accomplish in these past 3 years.
Thank you, Sadie. I have questions that have been pre-given to me, but is there anybody who has a question? Miss Ellen Jackson's going to kind of feed them, I think, or otherwise I can keep on asking questions.
I am. No, if you want to continue with the questions you have, I'm just going to consolidate a couple that we've received here.
Amazing. So one of the things that people sometimes are shy to ask about and don't ask about is the all-girls environment, the idea of not being co-ed. So if either one of you, Raluca or Sadie, can talk to that. Some of the people that I've spoken to over the years of being here have said, what's it like to not have boys around in the classroom? Do you feel that you're missing out on some social experiences and some opportunities there or in the classroom? Or is it something that you even notice? So I don't know who wants to start, but one of you can jump in.
I guess I can start. I would say that not being in a co-ed environment, I don't really feel as though I've missed out on any social experiences. And in turn, I feel like I've been able to almost engage with the school more and kind of be able to develop and grow into my own person. And now, as I approach my penultimate year in Elmwood and eventually will go off to university and eventually be in those co-ed environments, I don't feel as though I will either lack the social skills to be in those environments, but I will feel as though I've been cultivated almost to enjoy learning to an extent where I can apply that in any situation. And I might say that I don't even notice it because I've been at the school for so long, but I truly don't feel like not being in a co-ed environment has had a negative impact. In fact, I would say quite the contrary. I would say that being in an all-girls environment has created such a wonderful environment for learning, for leadership, and has truly made me into a more confident person today.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've been at an all-girls environment my entire life as well. So I also don't, feel that I'm missing out on anything. I think that my favorite part about Elmwood is that everybody is here to learn. Everybody wants to learn and wants to be here. And that is something that I think is quite unique to the all-girls environment. That passion for learning that everybody around me has, and that just makes me excited to go to school every day. And I think that that's a very important aspect of the all-girls education.
That's great. Thank you, girls. Ms. Owen Jackson, is there anything that's
I
popping
have
up?
one question here. It's kind of a two-part question. How does the school encourage leadership opportunities for students? Are there programs designed to build confidence and self-advocacy skills? Who wants to take that first? How about
Can I start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, in terms of leadership opportunities, I would say that the clubs and councils at the school are truly the greatest way to kind of integrate into the school community and grow into leadership positions over the years. Currently, I'm co-president of DECA, which is a business club at the school in which we write and propose business propositions in competition and also in the club. And it's really helped students develop their own unique passions and business ideas. But in terms of a leadership role, I started off as just a member of the club when I was in grade 9. And then eventually I applied for a position on our executive team as the vice president of career development. And that was my role throughout grade 10. So then I was exposed to a bit more of a leadership role in which I was able to understand how to delegate tasks, how to work with other students. And now as I'm in grade 11, I'm able to be co-president and kind of take on that role even more to inspire students for learning in that way. I think that it's definitely something that you grow into over the years, but I think that leadership opportunities are present at the school from when you join. I remember doing assembly presentations when I was in the junior school about causes that I was passionate about. So it truly is something that you get to experience at every stage of the Elmwood experience.
Yeah, in my experience, so right now I lead our school's Model UN team, and I just started with a friend the middle school French club. So those are my two main clubs that I run. That's my two leadership opportunities right now. But I was also selected as a part of a small group of students who got to attend the CASE Leadership Conference in Sherbrooke, Quebec last year. That's the Canadian Accredited Independent Schools Conference. And there I gained so much knowledge about different leadership tactics and different skills that are required for leadership. As I move into, grade 12 and maybe looking at prefect positions for Luca and I, but, that's somewhere that I was very lucky to have been able to attend that conference and gain those skills. And I feel very, very confident in myself and my abilities to lead a group of students.
Great. Here's another question. Christina, you touched on this a little bit, maybe a little bit more information. What resources are available for students who may need extra help or enrichment?
Sure, I'm happy to talk about that. I would say that begins in our Learning Commons, which is on the main floor of our middle and senior school building here. And for students in those years, we really have a student success team that is several educators who are actually have gone to the next level and learned about learning exceptionalities for students who have identified learning needs and for students who do not. And whether it is small group or one-on-one supports, inside or outside the classroom, we really do identify and then support those areas where students need help. For example, if it is in some mathematics skills, or if it is some organization, time management, maybe your child has processes information in a different way, auditorily or visually, or so there's quite a range of learners here at Elmwood, and that's in part because we know more about how the brain learns now than we ever have in the past, such as when I was at school and everything was very rote and in rows and quiet unless we were asked to raise our hand and give our 2 cents worth, if I may. And so, you know, that really is a gift as educators and allows our learning environment to be really all-inclusive of meeting students where they are and helping them move forward. I don't know if Kate wants to add anything about the junior school side of that, but it really is a fulsome model across all the years.
I might just add that in the junior school, we are very cognizant of the fact that foundational skills for our students are so important for setting them up for success for the rest of their academic career. And so we have a very robust framework for screening for literacy and numeracy skills. And we have a literacy specialist that, you know, when a need has been highlighted, will work one-on-one with a student that requires a little bit of extra support to get them to where they need to be. And we also in the junior school are very lucky to have our director of student success, Katie Fraser, who is in our classrooms and working with the teachers to make sure that we all have the tools that we need to support each individual child's learning needs.
I'll add one more thing, actually, if I may, Jennifer, and it's just the other piece of this is that we view learning as a partnership in terms of there are connections and relationships we have outside the walls of the school. We are not able to meet every learner's every need. And so we have those conversations on an ongoing basis and ensure that families at Elmwood who might need a little bit of support or assistance beyond the school, we work on establishing those relationships again so that the student can thrive here at school every day.
Okay, that goes into a question that we have about parent involvement, which is how are parents encouraged to engage with the school community? Are there regular updates or opportunities to meet with teachers and administrators? Who wants to take that?
I'm happy to start a little bit. I will say I might not have all the answers on all of this in the sense that I've only been here for a few short months, but I will say that from my very first days in the building before school had even started, parents are a component of this community. Dropping off and picking up. The courtyard is literally outside the window of my office here. And so there's always a moment to have a conversation and connect about something that's going on, about something to celebrate, about a worry or a wonder. And that's how we really embrace the partnership and the journey. We do have a parent council that is highly involved in quite a range of activities. I will let someone pick that ball up and go in a little more detail, but there's an opportunity based on where you are as parents, as members of this community. If you're willing to contribute, we welcome that.
I'll jump in a little bit. I can talk a little bit about that. We have a parents association, which everyone's invited to join to help us with everything from planning big school events to helping in our uniform shop to advising board committees to serving on the board of governors. We have a board of governors. We're an independent school, which means that we're not for profit. So we have a board of trustees who oversee the strategic direction and the financial stability of the school. The opportunities are endless. We have parents who are incredibly skilled who come in and offer their time to classes. We have people, I've had someone from the UN come to speak to my history class about a variety of topics, and that falls throughout the school. Parents are just a part of the school as the students and the staff are. It's a family and a community. I encourage everybody to give feedback as and when they can. Every week I just started sending out a newsletter asking for feedback to me to see what we can do, what our loves are, what your loves are, what your frustrations are as parents, and so we try and engage, as I said, as a family. And sometimes that's being involved, sometimes it's not, but the opportunities are kind of open and endless.
Great. The next question, we have a couple of questions about our French program and how much French we're getting, how it compares to French immersion. So maybe we could start, Kate, maybe we can start in the junior school. And I think that our Director of Admissions, Elise Aylen, will be able to weigh in as well.
Absolutely. So we are very fortunate to have a wonderful French teaching staff in the junior school. We have two teachers, both of whom are Francophone, one of whom is from France, the other is French Canadian, and they work together to create a really challenging and engaging French program for our students in the junior school. French class begins in pre-kindergarten. It happens daily. And it's about one block a day that our students are in French, and it's tied in to our IB program as well, but also really designed to develop vocabulary and facility with the language, and to help our students connect what they're learning in their other areas of their school day with the French vocabulary that would go along with it as well. And that's for the junior school. Oh, we also have some co-curriculars. So our French teachers offer some after-school French clubs for students that are interested in having a little bit more French in their day, which is a nice opportunity. Sometimes there was a French choir, so they were singing in French and talking about the lyrics. There was also a French drama club, so they were creating plays and skits and would get all the students up and speaking and presenting to each other. And perhaps, Mrs. Aylen, would you like to add anything else?
Yes, certainly. Well, as you go into the middle and senior school, of course, there's a couple of opportunities where you can expand your French. So students who are coming from an immersion or a French school can continue their social studies in French as well in the middle years. And for some of them, including someone like Sadie, I presume, and maybe even Raluca, they will get their bilingual certificate when they complete their graduating year. And that has allowed them to continue with French enrichment all the way through their high school years as well. And we also have a couple of clubs that we're offering in French in the middle and senior, and we're always looking for opportunities for students to be engaged and using their language in a different environment rather than the classroom. And I'm collaborating with Sadie, actually, with the middle school French club, an opportunity for us to watch different movies, speak about the French culture, but also expand that for the students who want to learn more French.
Terrific. We have a hand raised. Julie Taylor, would you like to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Hi, all. I have a question about international students. So while my daughters, all three of them are Canadian, we've lived out of country for the last 14 years. So they've been to school in Belgium, the Netherlands, in Canada for a year, and in the United States now, and largely have gone through co-ed but private facilities, learning in French and Dutch and Italian and Spanish and mostly in English now. So I wondered if anyone had any experience with that kind of situation where I'd be inserting a 10th grader, a 5th grader, and a 1st grader next year.
I mean, I can start that. We're to all intents and purposes, we are an international school. So that is currently what we do. We invite students from all over the world. We're an embassy school. So we're right in the middle of the embassy heartland, and those students integrate into our school community and climate all the time. We have students from, I think, over 50 different countries at the school, but many of them have come from different places and multiple places, be it the UK, USA, the Middle East, Australia. Right now we have a number of families. So we're very, very skilled and adept at welcoming families that have had that international experience. In fact, we love that because of the global mindedness it brings to the school. But it's something we do every single day. And I mean, the students might speak to it. I'm sure that they have experiences, but they also have friends who have come from all over the world. We have students in the Ukraine from the Ukraine right now who have been here for a few years that came from the situation over there. But in terms of our embassy families, it's easily between 20 and 30% of international embassy families that join our school. So we get a regular group of students that join us every few years. And so our teachers and our students are very, very welcoming. And our programs are designed as an international program to be able to adapt to everyone's needs. But I'm happy to let anyone else jump in now as well. To students, but we're also understanding where the student enters and where they're at. But our curriculum is international. It follows the Ministry of Education, but it also follows the International Baccalaureate, which makes use of all the different, not only content, but skills and knowledge from around the world. But when the students come into the school, we spend a lot of time working with them to make sure that they're comfortable, what they know, where the gaps might be. And we buddy them with people. We have teachers that are experts in developing certain skills that may not have been developed to the kind of like the areas where the Canadian curriculum or the international curriculum is at. But I honestly, we hear those concerns quite frequently, and the students really do thrive here. I mean, Raluca and Sadie, you probably have friends who have had that experience. Can you, I don't know if you have any examples you could give, maybe not, but it might be good for you to jump in.
Sure. Yeah, many of my friends are either were not from Canada originally or are not in Canada anymore. I still keep in contact with some of my friends in Norway, or I have a friend somewhere in Europe right now, but yeah, many of my friends are not originally from Canada. And I think socially, I'm so grateful that I've been in such an international environment, because, just seeing what different people bring for lunch for school every day can sometimes be so cool and just so interesting. And I really am, very, very happy with the kind of international lens that I've been able to have on the world through Elmwood.
Yeah, and just
Thanks,
adding on to this point, I think that being surrounded by so many diverse perspectives on a daily basis has not only enriched my learning experience, but the learning experience for everyone around me. I think it cultivates such a wonderful community, and we all learn from each other all the time, and it's so valuable. And even from an academic standpoint, our courses are designed in a way that you kind of get a breadth of knowledge. I've taken Canadian history, I'm currently taking American history, next year I'll be taking world history. So just as an example, it truly provides like pockets of knowledge from different areas of the world. So I think that there are so many different ways to engage with other perspectives and bring one's own knowledge to the table. It's such a great experience.
Thanks, girls.
Perfect. I think we have one more question that's in the chat here about athletic programs and support for student athletes and opportunities for playing different sports, specifically in the senior school.
I'm happy to talk a little bit more about that. And I would say it's actually a great transitional question, building on the conversation we were just having, because one of the gifts, I would argue, of the International Baccalaureate curriculum is that it really asks our students to develop skills and in many different areas. So there's 6 different groups in terms of how the curriculum is laid out. And as the student progresses through the program and develops interests and passions in different areas, they're really getting an internationally well-rounded learning experience. Building on that, when we have students who are elite athletes, what we can then do is personalize how they are progressing through those courses and that program to ensure that, like at peak season, for example, ski season, if it happens to be that, maybe it's basketball season that's heavier at a different time of year, or some track, swimming, whatever it might be, we can then, dial up when students have the time and they're off sport versus when they're on sport. We'll dial back what they're doing, but not impacting their overall pathway for academics each year, nor does the program impact their graduation journey. And so it's, again, one of the gifts of our International Baccalaureate curriculum.
Terrific. I think that covers all of the questions we've received. So we can turn it over to Miss Aylin now, who can walk us through the next steps.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the information session. It's exciting to see how many people are interested in the school and anxious to learn more. Some of you I've met before, so I will keep my comments brief because I'm hoping you'll have enough time to fill out your application this evening. And if you have already done that, of course, I'm looking forward to providing a tour. Of course, the steps we have for admissions, we're in our second phase of accepting students, and we've sent out some contracts already, and we're waiting to see what everyone in the grades that they're interested in and whether we have spots available in those grades. So don't be shy to contact me by email or phone tomorrow so that we can set something up for the next steps. In the next few weeks and months, we will be offering a whole bunch of different dates where you can come and see the school as well as engage with some of the students. And it's just a nice way for you to become very familiar with what goes on in the day-to-day at our school. And if you have any further questions, I'll be available this evening. I'll be checking my emails, and I look forward to meeting you in person very soon.
Terrific. Okay, thanks so much, everyone, for joining us tonight, and have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you all so much for coming out tonight.